Hello, everybody, and welcome back. And whew, can I just say, Tim, that was a hot game to start today off.
Yeah, and there's not all that much to say about it, but I do want to say that, Chad really pushed the throttle to the max, and I think that performance was really one in a million.
It was insane. I honestly couldn't agree with you more after that game. That was just such a strong, dominant performance coming out from Immortals Academy. It makes me really intrigued to see how game 2 is going to be shaking up. But before we get into that, we have some bit more pressing business. Welcome, everybody, to Sharking Grounds. This is the time for our casters to be pitching their teams to us. Tell us who we're looking to be investing in for the future. Tim, what are you looking for with these proposals?
I want to see a clear business plan. I want to see that I'm going to get a return, and I want to see that there's a path to that return, and I want to see a reasonable valuation.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And of course, our two people here to make the pitches, it's going to be Mad Magical and Beatdown Boulevard coming back. They're going to be vouching for Taco Gaming and Immortals Academy for what team we should be investing in. First off, Beatdown Boulevard, Taco Gaming, why? What are we looking for? Why should we be investing in this amateur team?
That first game, that was rough. Chad styled on the entirety of Taco Gaming. But my response, Magical, stop smiling. So my response to that is simply that next game is going to be different. This is a team where more often than not, you see them, they got the game one nerves. That's fine. But they're the team who clutches up. They're the team who manages to catch themselves back into these series. You've seen, we talked about Doxa, we talked about Trickster. If you didn't know, Doxa, of course, won C-Law last year, overcoming the collegiate titan that is Maryville. And if you've seen those ProvingGrounds qualifiers, he is playing in that same form. He's going to probably pick something other than the Kaisa this game. I think you are going to see a very different team. And I think investing in Taco Gaming will do you a lot of favors in the future.
Well, I just want to know, how much are you looking for and where is this return on investment coming from? Because we are looking for the hottest talent. We are looking for these teams that are going to be going all the way. And if we're putting our money here, where is this going?
It's going to immediately going into infrastructure. It's about resources. Yes, Taco Gaming does have staff, but I think giving them more tools to be able to succeed is going to be important here. The fact is, it was great that we had that all amateur final, no org backing, nothing of the sort, but getting these resources to this team, things like facilities, as much support as possible for the players, is what's truly going to allow them to grow. And I'm sure you'll see an investment in a year's time.
It really seems to me like you're looking less for an investor and more for like some kind of angel to come in and like prop up something that I don't really see the stuff in the middle. I see a bunch of question marks and a profit sign at the end, and for that reason, I'm out.
All right, I just want to know, my investment, 100,000 over the next couple of years. What is the return of investment that I'm looking at going into their competitions going forward? I want to know where this is coming from.
I mean, for one thing, we have sponsors lined up, tournament winnings, things of the like, and of course, you guys don't know this, but Taco Gaming, they're gonna make it to the next level soon.
All right. It's pretty compelling. I'm gonna hold on to my wallet for the second. Mad Magical, looking at Immortals Academy. I want to know what you are looking for and why this is the team that we should invest in instead.
Well, first off, gotta call out Tim. Tim, how dare you make that pun about Chad? I heard that. No one else heard that, but I 100% heard that.
I know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I mean. Max and Million. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe you did this to me. Anyways, talking about Immortals Academy, I mean, you guys just saw what happened right there. Absolutely trounced the competition. They are the Giant Slayers. This is a team that levels up when the competition needs it. You look at Chad, and even look at Concept. Two players that were just in amateur last year here in Academy. I mean, hell, even Chad, he was an amateur, went to Academy barely because he was playing in ProvingGrounds to sub in for Kenvi and won. This dude is nuts. You just look across the board for Immortals, and I think they have so much potential that there's no reason why you can't and you shouldn't invest in them.
Right, and what evaluation are you putting on this team, investment-wise? We need to talk some numbers.
So I'm not gonna make the obvious pun, Tim. I'm not gonna do the $1 million here because I know that's what you want. And so instead, I'm just gonna ask for a humble 100,000 over the next year. I think that's a good investment.
Your business plan seems pretty ambitious. I think it's very forward thinking. rather progressive, might I say. And I'm interested in that kind of thing. I'm interested in where this might go. I think Chad has a lot of potential future to him. I think Pretty is, dare I say, LCS quality. We've got a bot laner who has been in the LCS recently, and Joey Real Veteran Concept, does some really interesting things. I do want to note he played Tryndamere and had 2 of his other champions banned against him, but he still popped off. So I like where you're going with this. But give me what's the final hook?
I mean, Singe top lane isn't enough of a hook for you. Concept plays whatever like crazy pick you can kind of think of in the top lane. Mundo, Urgot, Singed. I mean, his Singe is nutty. We haven't gotten to see that yet in Proving Grounds because he just started. But this guy is awesome when he plays a lot of that. And then Joey, the bot lane. Joey diff. Every single time. We just see how this player is able to play so aggressively, so forward, and allow his team to get a set up for success.
All right, I just have one last question. Which player do you expect to be seen top of the field, top of the competition in the next year for me to put this investment in? Because Immortals Academy having the backing, having the org, I want to know that this money is going to be well spent on a star player.
I mean, the easiest choice is Chad. Chad, I think, is just automatically going to be the choice. We already look at him from his growth last year, where he won Proving Grounds last year with 100 Thieves Academy, then on to Immortals. It was a bit of a rocky start for it was a great start where they went 4-0. Then they had a rocky start after that, but then he grew as a player, learning how to play more than just the Viego pick that he dominated those first 2 weeks on. And honestly, I want to see, and I don't even want to see, I've already seen how Chad is growing as a player where realistically, I wouldn't be surprised if by next year, the year after, he makes it to LCS.
All right, so then I have an offer to make.
Okay.
I'm looking at Chat in particular. Instead of the entire team, I want to get my return investment on this one player. You're saying 100,000 for the year. I'm going to say 40,000 for the 1 year for one player.
Right. Let me hear Tim's offer if Tim has an offer too.
I see some ways that we can really synergize our outward trajectories and synchronize our buzzwords. So I'm going to give you what you asked for and see if Immortals Academy can finish out this series.
Sold. Sorry, Sierra, but he's giving me exactly what I asked for, so I got to go with Tim. Despite his progressive pun, I heard that again, Tim. It's not going over my head. I've heard every single one.
Magic Al over there.
You have this shark biting over here. I see you. Beat down. 10 words. 10 words. Why should I invest in Taco Gaming? Because apparently I can't get Chad.
The only thing I have to say to that is Doxa diff. That's all I need to say.
All right.
Could happen.
I'm gonna sit on this one. I'm gonna think about it. I want to see the Doxa diff come out in this next game, and I hear that it's about time to get into that. So we're gonna sit about our offers. We're gonna think about this, and we're gonna send you two back in the game. I'll catch up with you later.
Alrighty, thank you. I'm glad that I was able to sell my investment, or not sell my investment, get an investment on my return. And looking towards this next game, I might have predicted against Immortals, but God, that game was just absolutely dominating out of them. Chad really looked like he's playing to that same level, that same performance that he did last year when he joined in from 100X to 100 Thieves Academy and then won Proving Grounds.
Right, this man has not deteriorated in the slightest since last year, Magical, and it's been looking really good so far here in Game 1. And I mean, you look at the recent Academy games as well, Immortals have been looking really strong. Of course, Chad and Pretty being kind of the spearheads of that, along with Concept in the top lane. And it's going to be tough going into this next game. Champ Select might need to look a good bit different for the side of Taco Gaming. I think the concern that I posited just a little bit in the earlier parts of the first Champ Select was the Concept in the top lane. Again, he's so good at getting these individual leads. Chad will show up to the top lane at times as well to help him out, and Cozy didn't get as much of that, so I think he's going to need to get himself a better matchup in the top side. Taco Gaming, of course, choosing to stay on the red side means that they will likely this time around wait for that final pick on R5 for Cozy in the top lane. And I mean, already we're seeing the Tryndamere taken out of the picture because you had to do it.
I wonder if they even leave open Jinx here and have a trade of Zeri for Jinx, because last time they banned away the Jinx, didn't get to have that, the handshake bot lane that we've been seeing. Really, like, Felius is still in the meta, but he's just not as dominant, but they don't. Instead, they ban that away, replacing the Mundo, not expecting that to be picked up for quite some time. So Zeri is still what Wild Turtle can grab.
Yeah, and they're still okay with letting that one go. And I mean, realistically, I think what we're going to see Lynx do is go back on the Aphelios. This time around, they're just going to grab that one first and foremost. Will we see another Lulu? Okay, well, they're really quick with it. We're going to see that bot lane come through again. All that healing, or rather, all that shielding and the potential of the wild growth to try and protect somebody like Lynx. Now, my main question is jungle pool. Chad, I don't see why you wouldn't do it a second time. Pick the Lee Sin, exactly. But from Trickster, maybe we'll see a different jungler. Something a little more geared towards the early game. Because Viego can be good early, is definitely good late. But even with the nerfs, you could consider something like the Zhao, maybe the Jarvan, although that's a little unlucky in Zeri because she can just dash over the wall.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at this, and I'm wondering if we just have the first 3 picks on each side the exact same. Viego, I didn't see as really being a problem. It seemed like it was just other elements of the Rift that didn't really work out for Taco King's favor.
True.
That's why they go back onto it for Trickster, still having that matchup where he can play early if he wants to, look for those early ganks. He still does have to contend against Chad on Lee Sin, who, even if it wasn't a gank per se that he had last time, it was still a level 3 play that he made.
And now we're seeing more top lane bans thrown the way of Concept here. That's 2, technically 3. You were watching Amateur last year because Concept has run that volley bear in the top lane, but probably just for that jungle pick there for Chad. We're seeing the Camille taken away from Cozy again with the same. We're probably going to see those same last 2 bans come out from side of Immortals. And the only thing I'm expecting to really change here is I think we maybe want to see something different other than the Kaisa. I mean, Ahri, I was about to say is still up and available, but it is banned out. They don't want to give that one over to Pretty. Maybe we'll see Doxa play something like the Syndra, or maybe the Ryze, something that can fight for mid priority early on. Have that bit of CC to work with your jungler for some of these 2v2 skirmishes, because the last time we saw it happen in game 1 was not going your way at all.
Oh, and now they have the choice. If they want to grab that Orianna themselves, not let Pretty grab that for himself. With that Ryze being available, usually you see the Orianna Ryze matchup, not really the greatest matchup for Ryze, which is why taking blind Orianna isn't the worst, especially when you don't have to worry about things like Ahri. They can dodge away a lot, but instead, they grab a blind Brave, again holding on to the counter pick for Doxa.
Okay, I mean, that's definitely at least a better blind to go through, especially because you aren't dealing with the Tryndamere anymore, so Cozy might have an easier time in the top lane. Other thing is, what are we going to see from Concept? We haven't seen him play. I don't think he's played any Jace, actually, in Academy, so it's going to be probably more towards some of the champions he's more comfortable with. Could see that Urgot come through, but it is going to be the Ori with the Lee Sin again for Pretty. It worked so well before, and it also means that Kaisa on the R5 is probably not going to be at this time.
Urgot is what he goes for. I was about to look it up and see what he has played in to Graves, and the Urgot is what he tends to play when it's a blind Graves. He has the option to do so. He'll take that Urgot into it and try to see if he can get these early leads, especially with Chad playing on an aggressive jungler like Lee Sin. And then the trade is just this Orianna for Syndra. A lot of good things on the side of Immortals that I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the comp is it's almost the same except for the top lane pick. This time around, you do have Concept on the Urgot. Of course, Hullbreaker being nerfed the way it is means he can't go that, or rather, probably shouldn't go that route, but will still be pretty good inside. Will still be able to duel Cozy in the early game if he has help from Chad. But I think the big thing for me is that now we're seeing the Syndra for Doxa. Now we're seeing a pick that can be more aggressive early, can fight for push, and can sync up with Trickster to be able to have more impact in the early game, have more damage, have more CC, so that you can fight for some of these neutrals early on, because that was not present when we saw Doxa on the Kaisa. And when you're fighting for your lives here, I think this is definitely a good switch to make.
I agree. I'm looking at this composition. I think there are a lot of good elements on the side of Taco.
For sure.
But I also look at Immortals, and this just looks like their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Urgot top lane, Chad on an aggressive jungler like Lee Sin. And then you look at Pretty on Orianna. He already was doing a great job last game. Bot lane, Wild Turtle, and Joey onto Zeri and Nautilus. Even if Rovek on the other side doesn't have the best thoughts of Nautilus, we already saw how it was able to function in those team fights.
Right, not just the team fights too. Early lane, like we were that level 3 play where you saw Joey roam up to help the skirmish that was 2v2, and then that went very, very heavily in favor of IMT going forward. And I mean, going into this next game, my eyes are still on Chad on this Lee Sin to put up yet another mammoth performance like we saw in the previous game. And on the other side, we did see Trickster catch back up in the game, pick up a lot of shutdowns, pick up a lot of gold. And now maybe this time with Doxa on something like the Syndra, I'm looking for Doxa to be able to have more of an impact in that early game, because I think in the Kaisa Ori matchup, he was very quiet.
Yeah, couldn't really do much in that lane. We
Yeah.
kind of are, like I said, we're learning more about the Kaisa matchups, and we learned right there that early levels, Kaisa does not get any shove against Orianna. Syndra, on the other hand, very much can counter that, can
Yes.
answer back with the shove. Even if I recall, the Syndra-Orianna matchup is more of a skill matchup between the two. People joke and meme about it all the time, but Doxa is this player that we look at in Amateur
For sure.
as being an insanely talented mid laner. We didn't get to see it last time because he was on something that needed to scale a little bit more. But in this game, the tag teaming with Trickster, that's what my eyes are on.
Mine are on the same magical. We're seeing the Syndra pick. Like I'm gonna want to see how this mid lane matchup shakes out. There's a reason we do say Doxa diff over in Amateur, or as some call it, Doxa differential. It's not just when he's on the Zoe pick. You give him these tools to be able to have the impact, and so much of the time he's able to have that impact magical, and he's gonna need to if Taco Gaming want to take us to this game 3. Of course, we're in the double elimination bracket here in this tournament, but to go down in the first round is not a good feeling.
Not at all, but here we are. It is game 2 of our first best of 3 for the double elimination. Immortals Academy are up 1-0 at the moment to Taco Gaming. They win this one. They continue to march forward in the winner's bracket. It is do or die time for Taco Gaming. It might not be Tuesday, but they sure as hell want to get those wins.
Yep, they're going to need to figure out how they're going to overcome Immortals in this early game. Chad, of course, fishing for a little bit of vision, just to get an idea on where Trickster is early on. Can use the supersonic wave, can use the command attack. And it's just for the psychic damage, you know? It's just like, hey, buddy, how are you?
But
Long time no see.
it's also just, line of scrimmage. There's no follow-up.
True.
So he put a ward down,
Could you
and then
imagine?
he reset to get red. Oh, I know. I would be so happy. But rarely does that happen. I did also get a quadra kill at level 1 for Golden Guardians Academy a couple weeks ago. So you get some, you lose some. I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, for a second I thought you were saying you got a quadra kill at level 1, and I said I'm gonna need to see a clip because I just simply don't believe you. But now I understand. Now I understand.
I'd rather cast one. I don't even need to get one myself.
Really? Doesn't that feel good though? It's 4 kills.
I mean, what feels better is stealing the penta, but that's just me.
What? Really? You think you know a guy? Oh
Are you
Lord.
really? Wait, are you really surprised?
No.
There you
No.
go. I was about to say, please. You definitely know me better than that, Beatdown. For those that don't know, me and Beatdown have cast many times beforehand, before this. So he very much knows
He's a
how
monster.
I am. And I admit it. I know what I am.
I mean,
But
we've
looking
seen it in
at-
the lab.
Exactly. We've seen that. We've seen my madness. And speaking of seeing my madness, you can see the madness that's happened here on the Rift, which is that there's a lack of it. Not really much has happened too much in this early game. Getting a little bit of shove, but this is looking a little bit better.
I was about to
Taco
say.
Gaming.
Yeah.
They've actually got a little bit more control in these early levels.
Right, and that's honestly already a stark contrast, even though we aren't seeing kills, to that game 1, where now Doxa already has the shove. For those who remember, I sure do, it was the complete opposite not half an hour ago, so that means that already things are going a little better in the early game for Doxa, and it does open up Trickster to be able to just go for that full clear. Could fight, actually, is he going for the invade?
Yeah, they got a ward right there over the Raptor Pit placed down a bit ago by Doxa to spot out the Chad is here. So Trickster feels powerful with both mid and bot shoving in. This gives him this advantage to actually have a little bit of control against Chad.
I like the difference here. If he's able to walk away with that red buff, it would definitely be a big deal. And you can see it. Everybody's on the move.
They already got the first moves on the side of Taco Gaming. Chad really does not want to give up his red buff, though, to Trickster, but he has to. There is no fight back there. These early plays are looking good for Taco Gaming, but that wasn't a good path from them there. Now in a choke, it's forcing Trickster back into the fight. Rovek's taking a lot of damage, having to flash away to be able to survive, but they got a lot more damage onto Chad on the other side. He gets the flash in from Link, but they couldn't get it. It was a nice root that was placed down by Joey to keep Chad alive. And while Wild Turtle was peppering them with a little bit of shots across the wall, it wasn't enough for anyone to die.
Still, think about Trickster being here on the level 3. He does need to escort this wave, needs to help his bot lane because of the fact that, he might just look for a play. No flash on Joey. It means if
respect
they
this.
push up, yeah, this would be great if you manage to take him out of the picture.
Yeah, there is no flash with Joey being so low too, but they focus on a Wild Turtle instead. That's the carry down.
Gone.
First blood for Lynx.
Really nice play looking there from Trickster, and it starts off with that play earlier on. Joey can't do anything but losing his 80 carry, and the worst part is Wild Turtle flashed, because before this play happened, Magical, I was a bit worried. A lot of summoners traded, a lot of things went down, but it's Lynx and Rovex who end up falling behind in it because they blew all their summoners. This adds value to what Taco Gaming have lost in the early minutes, and it's all because of that priority we were highlighting, and it's also means the Trickster, he's got another angle.
From lane to lane to lane, looking for this play onto Pretty with no mana. On Orianna, the stun connects. One more slice for Trickster to take his first kill.
Already night and day in the early minutes here for Taco Gaming. Trickster is now 1-0. For a second, the portrait tripped me out. That's right, because he took, of course, the soul of Pretty. This is off to a fantastic start here. Usually you see people who play Viego, they go for the full clear. Trickster, he is only just now starting his bottom side at 450. Which means, of course, the level up camps will respawn a bit later. But look at the value he got for it, Magical. A kill onto himself. A kill onto Lynx.
Yep. This is all good stuff from Taco Gaming. And
Yeah.
oftentimes you look at how these amateur teams can bounce back in a best-of-3 scenario. It is difficult, especially when you don't have quite the infrastructure a team like Immortals Academy has.
Yes.
They get those nerves calmed a bit more, be able to bring back down to reality, be like, it's okay, it's one game, it's out, it's done. Now let's bounce back into this game, let's have a better strategy. What does Taco have? With the mid and bot priority that they have from Doxa, Lynx, and Rovex, this has given a lot more liberty to Trickster to have a playground in the jungle of Chad.
Yeah, and he's continuing to do so. He's got a bit of a farm lead. He's taken away the Raptors camp, and look at Rovex. Because that bot wave is shoved, because you have that leg up in this matchup, he is also able to move around the map. And I don't know, if you haven't seen Rovex play this Lulu, he's definitely an aggressive one, Magical. This is not more than one time have we seen him go for the Flash Ignite just to secure the kill onto somebody.
Oh yeah, I've watched some of the VODs back of
yeah.
a lot of the ProvingGrounds
you know.
qualifiers. I know, I mean, his Soraka, his Lulu,
Yeah, that
doesn't really
too.
matter. He's always aggressive when he plays this. But seeing how he's playing now is exactly what I would expect of Rovex. Right there, Pretty, using Shockwave to try to clear out the minion waves as best he can, because Doxa, again, with priority, and look where he's pathing. Looking to see if there's a play around the bottom half of the map, or even the dragon itself.
Yeah, like it is just beautiful what we're seeing here so far. And this is the one switch up there in the mid lane, a champion where you are going to be able to influence that matchup. We've seen lately how important the mid matchup is in general, so Doxa being able to get ahead here on this pick is such a big deal.
Yeah, as Chad and Joey venture into the river, they even got a little bit of the aggro coming in from that Ocean Dragon, but that's a lot more damage onto Chad. Lynx is not afraid, not deterred. Even with Joey standing right in front of Chad, he's continuing. Get all that damage with the chakras blooming and taking a kill, his second one of the game. Oh, the hook didn't connect from Trickster, but it doesn't matter. They got what they came for, and now they can turn for Dragon.
Yeah, that's a 2-0 of Felios here. Not afraid in the slightest, Magical. Now Cozy actually is using his priority a little bit. No Shockwave.
Yeah, and this is the big thing for Taco Gaming. They've got so much priority.
Oh, the
That was a
stun!
nice
Are you
get of the win.
serious?
That is a duck to diff if I've ever seen one.
And this is what we're talking about, Magical. Beautiful stun over the wall. Everything in game 2 is coming up Taco Gaming. They're going to secure themselves Dragon number 1. You can see the insane XP lead Trickster has at the moment. It's got to be a level and a half at least, as I imagine Chad's going to hit level 5 real soon. Point is, he already has access to that Heartbreaker. You know what that means. Viego's resets. They just got a lot more dangerous here.
And with these lanes having all the priority they need to, you can see a lot of those leads translated into items that they've been building up.
Yeah.
It is a great early game for the side of Taco Game, how to bounce back in from a devastating loss where they got trounced by Immortals in that first game.
Yes.
This is what you want to see, especially from these amateur teams. The bounce back capabilities these players have to get their mental reset and show that they can be calm and collected despite a bad result in the first game.
That's right, Alex, because let me tell you, Amateur, as you know, is no stranger to devastation, and they know how to bounce back. That's what we're seeing here in this game, too. We've even seen in interviews Doxa talking about, you know, sometimes they need to get the nerves out of the way. I was not kidding on ProvingGrounds when I said this team had the game one willies, or whatever you want to call it, a word for being afraid.
Heebie-jeebies?
Heebie-jeebies. Thank you. This is why I like you, Alex. And
hey, look, I watched a lot of Scooby-Doo back in the day, so yeah, I got those.
Jeepers
Doinks.
Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah. Nice.
I know. So, anyways, what were you saying?
Right. I was talking about Taco Gaming, knowing how to bounce back into this game. And the fact that they've gotten this insane lead. I mean, not only do they get Dragon 1, Cozy in control of this top matchup does mean that Trickster and Doxa get to go ahead and secure the first Rift Herald as well. And now,
Nice.
like I was expecting in the previous game, I think we're going to see it go into the bot lane because Lynx is already 2-0. This time, with how well this early game has been going, you have a much better chance to be able to snowball your AD carry.
Though I do look at how the bot lane is playing for Immortals at the moment. With Lynx and Rovek not being nearby, they're actually getting a lot of plays. Despite the fact this Rift Herald was picked up by Trickster, they knew he's topside, so they made a play, and Lynx and Rovek respond in kind. They don't even go to the bot lane. Instead, they go mid lane and rotate up Doxa into the top lane to look for concept. With all that damage, scatter the wake and into the Unleashed Power, it's an easy kill for the side of Taco Gaming.
And a really nice executed dive, and that's that attention on the top side is, oh my god, are you serious?
What a hook there from Joey. The shockwave to pull him back in. Double kills for the side of Pretty, but Doxa now fights back and stops any further dives, but they've gotten what they need to bounce back on Immortal's side. Now they just have to escape, because they're on the wrong side of this map in Trickster's jungle, and he has been the one dictating the pace. He is the king in this match.
Oh man, Pretty has no flash, but they aren't even going to be able to find him. The thing is now Chad just going to ward hop. Oh, they don't even know. Oh, he got spotted. He got spotted.
He got spotted, but okay, now he's stunned by the Spectral Maw. That's a lot of damage on top of him. I think they even want to give the kill over to Doxa. Yeah,
Beautiful.
They do.
So one does get away, and still in a trade in favor of Doxa and the rest of Taco Gaming. They managed to already get that first turret over in the top lane, and a lot of that extra gold, actually all of it, went to Cozy, who's already really starting to pull ahead because of the plates and because of the turret gold. And again, you can see it. Doxa now is able to have so much more of an impact on this game because of how well Taco used that impact. Chad hasn't been able to do much, Alex.
No, this is a stark contrast from how he performed in that first game when he was out of the gates racing right away. He even built a Yomu's on Lee Sin. This player, he is a king amongst kings when it comes to Proving Grounds, having won last time his first ever appearance in the Proving Grounds as well. Compare that to Trickster, who is also in his first appearance in the Proving Grounds. And what a title that would be to take away from Chad as your first split, your first chance in the Proving Grounds to take away and beat the reigning king.
That'll certainly be something. Something both Trickster and the rest of Taco Gaming would be happy to do here. As things slow down quite a bit because of this pressure on the other side of the map, of course, you see so many plates on that bottom turret have gone down, and Wild Turtle got a lot of them on his own. So it's not only accumulated in a gold lead we can't necessarily see, it's also in the CS lead that he has for himself because Trickster spent so much time top. But now that Trickster is here, he's setting himself up for that lane gank bottom side because what's up in 40 seconds, Magical? Dragon number 2.
And I love this heads-up play from the side of Taco Gaming.
Beautiful.
The only problem is how much vision the side of Immortals put down on this bottom half of the river. A lot of control were there. A couple of them got cleared out by Taco Gaming, sure, but this gives that information to Immortals to understand that Trickster is setting up that play for the bot lane to then transition into the second dragon.
That's why Trickster's backing up. Not going to go for it right now, just going to go back to farming, and luckily for Lynx, he has been able to safely farm on the bottom side at least because of Trickster's presence, so at least it did get to do something here. But now, Trickster's showing up mid, stun lands.
Stun lands, but no follow-up on a Pretty just yet. Enough mana with the Shockwave too. Could be risky. They don't know where Chad is. They didn't understand, well, they didn't see that he had reset right beforehand. So that play would have been risky without that information calling the bluff on the side of Immortals, but instead, they have all 5 members here. They might as well turn for that dragon.
Yeah, we do have, this is actually going to be a 5v4. TPs are not unlocked. It won't be for a minute. What they don't know is Cozy is in the area unless he finishes that recall.
I don't think you even bother scaling it. Yep, you just give
perfect.
it over to Taco. I don't think you try. If you're Immortals, like you talked about, you don't have unlocked Summoner Spell in Teleport.
Yep.
You might as well just try to get a little bit more farm elsewhere and see if you can at least contend against a lot of that lane priority the side of Taco Game have had.
Yeah, but it's tough because, I mean, realistically, when I see teams do this is what I call, like, getting front row seats. You watch the dragon go. Oh, hold on.
Look. Oh, no, though. Look at Trickster. Perfect placement, perfect time. Even though Lynx does fall, he's able to trade it back 1-for-1. 80 carries, both dead.
Oh, and look at that. Beautiful trade, beautiful read from Trickster, who was in the area. What does that mean, Alex? This jungler, 3-0, 3 kills up, a couple camps up as well. Oh, Doxa?
Noxa just took a shockwave though. He's fine. Here's Chad in the jungle, getting the kick on top of Cozy. That's a lot of damage. And the flash away, dodging from that pull back in that could have come in. Oh, though, Noxa, you try to go for the blind Fear Beyond Death as concept. No, it doesn't seem like it does. Goes back to the top lane,
He wants to help.
allowing Chad to fight back. There's that scatter of the week. You can't go near Doxa, though you're barely alive. You're burning down, flashing over the wall. Barely, Chad will limp away.
Oh man, almost transferred the buff with the corrupting potion burn, but he gets to walk away, Alex. But still, now it's as we talked about in game 1, how every time Taco tried something past the first couple of minutes, IMT always had an answer on top of their own plays. Now these roles have been very violently reversed in favor of Taco Gaming right now, and it is a great thing to see that recovery from this team where, I mean, we talked about it on ProvingGrounds, on the desk, even on the cast, where it's like, man, that is a brutal game for Taco Gaming, but now things are looking up.
Well, a lot of that is here on Trickster.
No flash.
3-0-3 on Viego. Chad using that Sonic Wave to escape from danger, but Lynx
my
does
God,
not want to let him go
He doesn't
quietly. Gale Force, too. If it weren't for Pretty being in mid lane, they probably would have committed fully for the dive. Now Concept has joined in the fight. Looking for a Heartbreaker damage on the side of Trickster. Pull back in. They've got a lot of damage, and there is Fear Beyond Death. Rips some apart for a shutdown for Concept.
Yeah, that is a big pickup. Chad does have access to the Dragon's Rig in just a couple of seconds here. There is a play to be made, even with the Fear Beyond Death on cooldown. That's why they are chasing them out, but it's looking like they're going to settle for Rift Herald number 2. You can see the way they've been trading back and forth here, Alex. The gold lead has actually started to narrow in favor of Immortals, who have slowly gotten themselves back into this one, mostly through things like CS leads.
I'll call it a caster curse because I was just talking about Trickster, and he dies right as I said so. A little bit of greed on the side of Taco Gaming loses them that Rift Herald, and will lose the light of Cozy up in this top lane, despite the fact that he's surviving for so damn long. He'll finally fall to Concept.
Yeah, it took a while. Shield bow is pretty good, but that's no Cozy for 30 seconds. And you know what that means? More than likely, no top lane turret anymore. Actually, I lied. Cursed it myself. Chad is just going to recall instead with no Cozy. Concept's just going to be able to take the turret by himself here. Now, we're 2 minutes away from a dragon, so we could just see them use it mid lane to take down that tier 1 turret. Yeah, exactly. And that's why we're seeing Taco already with the fact that they have reset, they're pressuring mid, they're pressuring bot with Doxa. Although they won't be able to secure the turret yet, they have gotten it very low.
And that sizable lead Taco Gaming had has now slumped down to only about 500 gold. Actually, it's actually a deficit they now find themselves in with that turret being taken to top lane.
And part of it comes from that shutdown as well that Concept got from Trickster. You can see he's really starting to get up there in terms of gold, damage, and everything on this Urgot. But still, Cozy, who's had an early lead for himself too, should be able to at least safely farm for the moment here, as most of the team, again, is just spending time on this bottom side of the map. But you see the invade there coming through from Immortals Academy. They're trying to set up vision for themselves. They're trying to threaten this tier 1 turret, because with Dragon up in a minute, being able to take this down, shove the wave out further, and get control over deeper vision is what they want to do, because you want to slow down the Dragon stacking.
Exactly. That's why Trickster is also here for the fight with the Moonlight Vigil connected. They got a lot of damage on a Wild Turtle, but with man advantage for Immortals, they can at least still fight back and threaten that they might fight against Trickster, who dove onto Joey right there, but pull back in, it was buffered by that ult to get away.
Oof, that is 2 ultimates though. Heartbreaker not available now for the Dragon fight, as well as the Wild Growth. Not even the Moonlight Vigil, so this one is going to be hard. Every ult is available on the side of IMT. You can see how important this fight is for them. All 5, once Wild Turtle shows up, is here to stop the Dragon from going through. We're even gold on both of these teams, so it is going to be about catching someone out.
Nathan, the big thing is that Wild Turtle had to reset. That could have been the time for Taco Gaming and the rest to look for that fight. But now that Wild Turtle has fully rejoined the fight, Lynx is now one who's low. He doesn't have time to reset.
This is tough. They've been routed on the side of Taco Gaming, and it's looking like they're just going to go ahead and concede this Dragon. They don't want to fight right now. They don't want to risk giving away so much gold here. Not confident in their ability to team fight with so many ults down, so they're going to let it go. The Dragon Soul will be delayed. That is a nice move from Immortals Academy now. Not only that, they're going to take this mid-tier 1 turret. They are starting to grow this gold lead that was a deficit for so long that much more, as it seems like they've gotten a grip on this game too.
And here's Joey flashing onto Trickster with the depth charge. Last cone saves his life.
Now things have slowed back down. Sorry, I was thrown off by it. I heard the cue for the depth charge, but as soon as Trickster flashed, it just stopped, and I even see Joey has the cooldown. You see that, Alex?
I saw that. I was assuming it was a weird interaction with Flash and Spectral Maul from the side of Viego.
Could be.
Yeah, because it was a wonky, but still, Trickster does get out of there, just barely. Had the blast gun, had to flash. There's a lot that he had to use in order to get out.
That's the thing, and you're seeing like in these skirmishes now that Taco Gaming are starting to fall behind in them. You have to blow summoner spells just to walk away from basic abilities, just to keep yourselves alive now. And the gold continues to grow. We're looking at 1,000 now, Magical. As we're trying to, or Taco Gaming are trying to clear out some of these side waves, push them out a little bit further so they can try to maybe contest for vision, because the Baron is coming up very soon. We're probably not going to see a 20-minute Baron because the gold, we talked about it last game, but the gold lead is nowhere near what it was in game 1.
I'm pretty sure that Immortals were up at nearly 40k at 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was like a 6k lead, something crazy like that.
Exactly. That's the only reason why last game I thought that was a possibility. This game, it is more about getting control and forcing the enemy into your hands. You can see that Immortals Academy are already setting up for that. Getting that deep vision inside Trickster's jungle, so he's going to have a harder time actually fighting back into that Baron pit.
Seen Chad. Had such a big impact last game. A little less so this game. Concept.
They see Concept, but he is pretty tanky. There's Chad on the other side, and here's Wild Turtle too, getting a lot of damage onto Rofek. But they couldn't actually pick up the kills, especially once Taco Gaming started to collapse.
Yep, so it's 80 carry ult for 80 carry ult. In exchange, nothing else is blown here, but because of the angle they have to take, actually, Immortals, they could look for the fight if they really want to, so Taco Gaming have to be very careful. A lot of team fight ults up.
Yeah, and they're getting a little bit of damage onto the tier 1, but look at the damage on Gozi on the other side. Chad follows it up. No, he baits it. He didn't want to actually go in and just get immediately polymorphed. Instead, they're forcing the hand of Taco Gaming. They are now the ones who have control of this mid lane that they had just ceded before to Taco.
Right, and you can see it. Taco not looking to find these fights on Immortals' terms. They do not want to get hooked by Joey. They want to be the ones to catch somebody out. Whether it's the Spectral Maw, whether it's what happened.
Beat down. They're proxying each other's waves right now. Neither of them want to commit for this fight, and keep in mind, Pretty isn't even part of it. He is bailing completely to get control of the top wave.
Yeah, that's why you see Immortals back off, because as soon as you see Pretty show up top and they're in the mid lane, they're just going to full send it there. That's the thing. Now the top lane is pushed in. Someone's got to answer it, and that means that you can see the members of Immortals come back here, threaten this mid, threaten to push out mid if they want to, but either way, no fight is going to be found here, except now Pretty is looking.
There's Pretty and Chad. They're looking for those
Kick
angles.
is up.
Again, all 5 are here, and it looks like it's going to be passing ships in the night once more. Neither team fully committing for the fight. They looked for those plays initially. There's no real reason to commit your lives or anything, especially when the Baron is on the line.
That's right, it is magical, but again, the invade is coming through. Oh, they're in trouble.
Uh-oh. Fox had to flash over the wall. Nice buffer comes in from Trickster, but it's going to be the knockup with the follow-up coming in from Chad. He's taking a lot of damage here beyond death, but Chad, the kick was not enough. He gets over the wall back to the team to survive. Man, that was a lot committed by both sides.
It would have been dangerous there. Chad overextending just a bit, but he gets to crucially walk away from this one. We're a minute till the next Drake coming through. That's what both of these teams have their eyes on. Of course, just making sure with the blue trinket that nobody is on the Baron for the side of Taco Gaming, but they're not interested in that right now, Alex. They're looking for the dragon. They need this soul point to come through, because now with how they've been slowly falling behind, this gold lead, or this gold deficit becoming 2,000 in favor of Immortals, you really want to get this dragon soul as soon as you can, because you are slowly losing a grip on this game.
And we have to look at our players that we talked about before. Trickster being the big one for Taco Gaming. He'll have his flash available for the impending fight around that dragon if they want to pull that trick, but instead, they're going for the YOLO Baron. Maybe looking for the fight, but everyone on the side of Immortals has just reset.
Yeah, they're only just now the pings are coming through. They do know the Baron take is pretty good, but Chad is in the area. It's hard to keep Lee Sin out of the pit, but what is he going to do by himself? Teleport is only just coming in. Will they turn? Will they
Is that
burn?
25%? Chad's getting kicked out of the pit. He's trying to get
They're
it
gonna
back
burn.
in it the best he can. It's a lot of damage. They've got it low. Rovek's the first casualty. No, he finally dies. And this Baron secured by Taco Gaming. The flash comes in from Immortals to chase them down. They do not want them to have that advantage, but Trickster makes sure he gets one. Jumps over the wall himself. And here's going to be the Heartbreaker. Not enough. They escape the rampage coming in from Pretty.
Oh, that's only going to be 2 Baron buffs in favor of Taco Gaming, but the gold helps them catch back up Magical. Now it's only within 1,000, but it's tough. Doxa, he wants to stay. He wants to clear one more wave before he uses that Empowered Recall. Maybe he can stay a little longer because with the Mountain Dragon up, you know that's what Immortals are looking to take here. It does mean we will see the wave pushed. He's going to continue staying because he's seeing people show up on the other side of the map here. Maybe he can get a turret in trade with the Baroned up minions, but instead he's just going to push one more wave. So he's still going to be this Dragon Soul delayed. It's still going to be a major win con for Taco Gaming, denied from them, and we're going to see the replay here. It seems like Taco Gaming a little stuck between whether or not they should be turning and burning. They do manage to get it done, even though they lose Rovex in the process. But look at this. Everybody flashes over the wall from Immortals, Alex. They know. They're saying, oh, you're not walking away from this one. You're going to lose so much for what you just took.
They had to pay the price for that Hail Mary Baron play.
That's right.
And now we go back to live. Chad is in a little bit of danger. Scatter the weak connect, but he was able to at least jump back to a teammate with the safeguard. The Taco Gaming are set up here. Spotted out by that blue trinket. Look at Concept angle. He can flank. Thinks he's not there just yet. He has to get back with the wave. He wants to crash that into the tier 1.
Now things slow down. Will be another turret for Taco Gaming. This bot tier 1, and Doxa, one of the few who are holding on to the Baron buff for another minute or so, will help Baron up the minions, will help with this bottom push, but they probably won't be able to do too much. And Doxa is that player we were highlighting both games, Magical. In this early game, he had a big impact, but lately it feels like Immortals in this game too, for the last 10 minutes or so, have been shutting him down, making it hard for him to get these clutch scatter of the weak stuns, these clutch setups that he was finding in the first parts of this game.
I'm wondering who you give the most credit to on Immortals for dodging away and making sure that the Doxa diff isn't that important. Joey, his hooks have been incredible. Chad, how he bounced back in this game where it was a devastating start against Trickster or Concept here. Even though they lose that turret mid lane, he's 3-1. He's got himself into take position, and Doxa is alive, but barely. That was a lot used to keep him alive, just to make sure they got the fight back in them. Taco Gaming actually have a lot more tools that they can utilize, especially Link. There's going to be the depth charge, and look at Trickster. He wants that angle. He sees the low health bars on the side of Immortals. That is a pretty deep dive if you want to go for that by yourself. Instead, they look for the turret.
Yeah, but that is a big ult coming through from Lynx. The Moonlight Vigil with the Infernum Guns. And of course, the Infernum Gun itself doing all of that AoE burn damage. It means that as long as Lynx can finish this recall, waiting.
Spotted out. Wild Turtle cancels Lynx back. He could actually look for the further fight. Keep in mind, look at where Concept is. Concept is rotating around.
No.
There's a lot for him to try to get here with how far away Taco Gaming are from their base. There are TPs available, but Fear Beyond Death connects on a Rovex. He does not have Wild Growth, so he will be the sacrifice to make sure the ADC survive.
Okay, it is brutal that you lose Rovex, but you manage to force them away, take a tier 2 turret, and get that extra gold into somebody like Lynx's pocket. You see how much damage he's able to do? He's at the 2-item mark, does have gold to spend once he recalls as well. So he's going to be a big damage dealer in these fights as long as Taco Gaming can play around him. We saw a good scatter of the week come through from Doxa when he is caught out. We need to see more like that in these skirmishes because he's one of the biggest, most important forms of CC Taco Gaming have at the moment here, Alex.
Yeah, he is. It's Taco Gaming have to rely on a lot coming in from Rovex, especially with the Wild Growth, especially with Polymorph onto the right targets to keep Lynx or Doxa alive. Trickster and Cozy, they'll be on their own, but they're going to be self-sufficient. They can always dive in, reset the fights if you want to as Viego. That's why we have to keep our eyes on how Rovex positions, especially when you look at these flank angles that Immortals are looking for with both Concept and Chad.
That's the thing that's made it so hard for Taco Gaming to fight in these skirmishes because of the fact that, yeah, you are a little squishy here on the side of Taco Gaming. You do lack a little bit in the CC, especially from range. That's the thing that's made it hard in these team fights. Facing Joey on this Nautilus, maybe not as good in lane in the matchup, but now at this point in the game, with the fact that all you need to do is land one hook and people like Chad, Pretty, Wild Turtle, and Concept can do the rest, poses a big threat for Taco Gaming. And now, speaking of threats, we're a minute away from what is going to be somebody's Dragon Soul point. It's been 2 Mountain Dragons for Taco Gaming. Oh, this would be a nice pick.
Concept. You got yourself extended too far, but there's just not that much damage.
Look at the
Two
health.
Mountain Dragons on the side of Immortals makes it so that the side of Taco Gaming, Cozy, and Trickster
Alex.
aren't able to cut through those shields reliably.
Oh, wait. Joey might be...
Oh. Okay, step charge lands on the Doxa
Oh,
with the
big
kick
flash.
with the wild growth. He survives, and here's going to be the TB coming in from Cozy.
Oh, this is a good pick.
The king is slain by the side of Taco as they look for
Oh, big
more.
flash
They
from
have a
Cozy.
fight, but that's Concept in the back line.
This is the
He's got
fight.
fear beyond death. The fear onto Cozy. He's got the pull and the reach on the other side while Trickster was cleaning up house in the back line. Taco Gaming bounced back in a massive way. Concept was not able to clean up enough for the team while Trickster did everything for his. Pretty is getting run down. That's a shutdown for Trickster. 7-2. He is here to take the crown away from Chad.
And that is a massive fight coming through from Taco Gaming to be able to get so much with two crucial objectives coming up in just under 5 seconds, Magical. That's going to be the Mountain Soul Point for this team. That's going to be the Baron, and we're going to take a look at this right here. This is what we wanted from Doxa, the scatter of the week, to be able to chunk him out, get Joey out of the fight, and because Chad was going in and Doxa respects flashes, the insect kick coming through, it sets up the fight perfectly. No more Chad, no more Joey, or at least no more Joey's health bar, means they're able to very slowly walk this one down.
And my eyes still are getting drawn to Trickster and how he's running down these members. He essentially let his team deal with Concept. And you know what? This Urgot, I don't really have the damage against him, but I have the damage against everyone else. And he picks up so much gold for himself in that fight. But this sets up his team perfect. His 7-2 has completed a Wit's End and a stopwatch in case they want to look for another play, especially if Chad over-aggresses.
And it's not just Trickster too. Look at Cozy's build. Yeah, he's at the 3 items now, has a lot of sustain with the Bloodthirster and the Shield Bow, and we saw it in the fight. After he flashed Shockwave, he does a lot of damage to the squishy members of Immortals. Now, with this top mid-wave pushed in, even though their side lanes in general are not in the greatest of positions, they're going to go ahead and start off the Baron. They have a lot of gold that they just spent. They've reached a lot of crucial spikes, and they're going to look to get it done. With all the vision they have, too, they have the perfect fight set up if Doxa can get yet another stun.
Here's the TP, and wow, they are burning that Baron
Double AD.
down. It's going so quickly. And with it now at 25%,
Chad's
Chad's
here.
in the pit. The kick onto Cozy, but not onto Trickster. He could attempt to
50-50.
steal this. He's inside the pit. He's doing his damage.
Oh,
He's
stolen.
done it. He's stolen away the Baron, but now they got to survive. They got the kill coming in from Concept, and they are looking for the fight into the back line. But here's Trickster to clean up house. Wild Turtle cutting it out the best he can. But Concept now, he is the focus for the team. They've got a lot of damage on top of him with Lynx and Cozy, but they still cannot take down this beast of a top laner.
And that is an insane steal from Chad of Immortals. The champion of ProvingGrounds last year is looking to keep it going here. That clutch steal and the 2-for-2 not only keeps Immortals in the game, but this is how they can continue to push it forward. And we saw it. The Baron was being burned, and Chad tried to kick, it looks like Trickster, out of the pick. Actually, it was Cozy, but he wasn't able to get routed. You can see how split up the big damage dealers were from the side of Taco Gaming. Not enough damage was going to come through from Chad. And unfortunately, Trickster smites too early.
And also looking at the positioning of Provec, he was outside of the pit, keeping Lynx alive. Not getting into the pit to either give the wild growth to Trickster or the polymorph onto Chad so he can't steal away the Baron. A lot of things went wrong for Taco, but it was great plays and great heads-up mechanics on the side of Immortals, especially Chad, despite the fact that he might have fallen in that fight. Stealing the Baron was a big win.
It was. You got yourself back up with the extra gold, and again, you get to keep these waves pushed out because you still hold on to 3 Baron buffs. Concept being one of them, of course, means that you can easily have him in the side with how tanky he is at the moment. Magical. It is unreal. The full tank build, and of course the Hydra. He's going to do extra damage because of all the health that he ends up having for himself here, and because Concept can just deal with this lane by himself, most of Immortals can push bottom. They get the tier 2 turret. They're forcing members of Taco to reset so they don't lose the inhib turret, and they're just losing pressure on every part of the map.
You know, and I want to even bring this conversation back over to Concept, because we talk a lot about junglers, Chad versus Trickster, but Concept is a player who played in Amateur last year.
That's right.
On Revival,
Yes.
on AoE Cope. But this player, since joining Immortals, you've seen the growth he has, especially with his unique champion pool and set. He always sets up his team in great ways. The strategies the player has, and with 4 items now completed on Urgot, the only one who can even do any amount of damage to him might be Cozy or Doxa, and even they only tickle him.
Yeah, it's tough too. He's mostly indexed into building a lot of armor because Doxa, of course, Syndra being that mage, going for burst damage, more for dealing with squishies, less about tanks, means that you can kind of afford to just have, I mean, the only MR he's actually got is on the Turbo Chem tank because the ones who would be threatening him are Trickster, Lynx, and Cozy. So that's why he can draw so much pressure on the side. He can be that ball delivery service for Pretty. And now because of that stolen Baron, because of the push they were able to get from it, they, on the side of Immortals, do have pressure for setting up this next dragon. It could be TG Soul.
Early TP from Doxa, but they have to be in this area because, like you said, the soul is on the line for them. They have 30 seconds until it will spawn, with Immortals being the ones on that side of the map. They are the ones who control the bottom quadrant. You can tell that Taco Gaming want to get inside and try to contest.
It's hard. You're watching the shockwave. Pretty's orb there. That is a dangerous thing. It will be the difference maker, especially if Joey lands the hook. We'll look at the stun.
Scatter the weak.
Look at Trickster.
Not enough damage on a concept, though. They might have a little bit of a fight in the back line, but they just cannot get on top of the carries of Immortals at this point.
And it's tough. You have no vision if you're Taco Gaming. You do not want to face check this composition, and I like the call. It's not their soul. You could just push this next wave in if you want to, but look at that. Pretty and Chad won't let it happen either, so they're trying to invade through the bottom side jungle, but they don't have a way in.
No, there's no way they can test this. It will be tied up in the dragons. 3 apiece. 3 mountain dragons for Immortals. If Concept wasn't already tanking up before, now he's going to be nearly impossible to take down. As Taco Gaming are caught on the wrong side of the map. There could be a play from the side of Immortals.
Yeah, it's very possible, Joey. You know he's looking, he's fishing for the hook. The shockwave is still available as well. And you're getting routed if you're Taco. You got to walk to the top side. You got to recall because now this next wave is also being threatened. I love this, that IMT are not letting a single wave come from Taco's side of the map. And that pressure means that they weren't able to trade the mid-inhib turret for the dragon. They just lost it. Now, Magical, I got a feeling it's going to come down to these next 4 minutes and 20 seconds because that dragon and the probable fight afterwards is going to decide it all.
It is going to be dicey for both teams, but right now it is Immortals Academy that have that lead. Great front line on their side. Great tools, even the waves. Already pushing towards Taco Gaming in both top and bot. They'd even have a fight around the Baron. You talked about 4 minutes because the Dragon will spawn, then the Soul on the line for either team. I'm also looking towards Baron buff and which team might try to go for it if we see another Hail Mary play coming in from Taco. But that last time didn't really work out so well.
You can very well see that happen. We're still 3 minutes from a dragon, Magical, and we see a lot of stopwatches purchased on the side of Taco Gaming. It's looking like they want to do something, and they want to do it soon. Because having the Baron and the dragon up at the same time is going to put them in a tough position.
Yeah, I think they kind of have to, especially because we're seeing that Immortals are slowly getting stronger and stronger. You already nearly have full build for Concept, but you look at other members as well. You have 4 items for Wild Turtle. You have 4 items for Pretty. This is starting to get scary on the side of Taco Gaming to fight back.
Cozy, of course. I actually think he isn't spotted out.
Wait a
Oh,
minute.
wait.
Wild Turtle just went bot lane too.
Yeah.
He can jump over the wall.
He can
This
go for
might be
this.
the time to fight. With the TP coming in.
Oh
Shockwave
my
bouncing
God.
around. Poor Cozy. He was a bouncy castle there. He goes golden to be able to survive, but that's where it all goes awry. He'll still die. Pulled back in. He is ground meat and an unstoppable Concept. Make sure that they can fight and push back.
Oh, and that's a big deal. That is a long death timer, Magical. 60 seconds, and you know what's up for grabs. It's the Baron, and Cozy was honestly one of the beefiest members you had, and that is saying something looking at the rest of the comp here, and that means this is going to be very difficult to face check. Shockwave, actually no ults available, and that's the saving grace for Taco Gaming. If they can get a big stun, they can get a big play, they can turn
Look
it.
at Immortals. They are baiting this out. They're waiting patiently until those ults are available. Shockwave will be up in just a moment. So if they fight now, it won't work out. If they wait just a couple more seconds, and that's what they're doing. They're delaying the Baron take so they can have these. Look for the fight onto Dox on the other side with a Scatter of the Weak onto Joey.
Oh,
He's still
Dox is
alive
done.
and kicking. They've got so much damage. They've got the kill. Trickster can't get inside of the pit either. He'll revive with the help of Guardian's Angel, but we know what awaits him on the other side. He will be dead. Pulled back in by Concept.
Man.
He is massive from amateur to academy this year. This player has looked amazing.
And of course, Chad from last year's Proving Grounds champions to this year on a different team looking to do it again. He's finding the plays. Lynx, he's trying.
He's just in a bad spot, so it's an easy pickup for Wild Turtle. Immortals have gotten everything and the kitchen sink in that last fight. They can push into the base of Taco Gaming with little answer in the ways of defending the base.
You can see it pretty as TPing. He's going to push this bot wave as well. At the very least, 2 inhibitors are going down, and if Taco Gaming overstep, they will be sent into the lower brackets. This next minute's going to be very important here. You got to let these inhibitors go. Taco Gaming, there's nothing they can do about it here. The question is simply going to be, will Immortals try to take more? Because they're the ones in control.
Got 15 seconds till Link spawns a 4v5 fight under the Nexus turret. Trickster's nearby, but I think they want to topple at least one of the structures. The first one will fall. Trickster into the back line, wasn't able to get the stun, but the Heartbreaker into the back line, and now he's going golden just to survive a little bit longer, but he's going to die upon arrival. We've already seen this before, and look at Concept. He's a god here on the God, fighting back valiantly with the shockwave into the back line. Immortals Academy are not here to make friends. They're not here to play nice. They're here for victory. They want another title for Chad, and they have dominated Taco Gaming in this series.
And the rest of Immortals want a title of their own, Magical, as they will pull themselves back in this game that looks so good from Taco Gaming and finish off this 2-0. You got to give props to Taco Gaming for coming back the way they did with a slightly different draft, with a slightly different idea of how they wanted to play the game, and it looked like it was good. But Immortals, Academy teams are looking good, Magical.
That they are. I mean, right there in that first game, we saw how devastating a loss that they can hand to these amateur teams. But the second game, it looked good from Taco Gaming. The early game, far better. I almost thought that we were going to go for a game 3, but then the mid to late game. Concept and Chad, the steal onto that Baron from Chad, and then Concept being this unkillable frontline Urgod was just insane stuff. And really shows why these players, having been in amateur last year, moved up to Academy at the beginning of this year, because how dominating they are in their roles, especially when you have a unique champ set like Concept.
Yeah, he's definitely got one of the more unique ones there, both in amateur and in Academy, of course. And it shows in today's games as well, that willingness to play the Urgot. And I think we got to bring it back to Chad there in this game, where he was honestly brutalized in the early game. As a jungler, it feels bad, especially when you're playing into something like a Viego as Lee Sin. Yeah. You're like, I can win the 1v1. It's like, is he really stealing my red buff level 3? But of course, the prio that was going there in favor of Taco Gaming allowed it to happen. And Chad, he sat back. He said, fine, don't worry. I'll see you in 20 minutes. And in 20 minutes, he saw him all right.
Stealing away that Baron, securing victory for Immortals 2-0 over Taco Gaming, who are knocked down into the lower bracket. But right now, we're going to toss to a break. When we come back, we'll have an interview with Immortals Academy. Make sure you stay tuned.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We're here with Chad from Immortals Academy. First off, congratulations on your series win. How are you feeling?
Great, thank you very much. Glad we're 2-0.
I mean, yeah, 2-0 is obviously great score, but that second game had us kind of on the edge of our seats for a little bit. Y'all were behind for quite a while, and it was a really big difference from that first game. What was the big difference? What was the big change in that?
I mean, it's hard to tell. The game was definitely rocky. The game was a bit rougher, but I'm not sure. I mean, I think we kind of we realized like 10-minute mark that we're kind of underperforming and something is like going wrong that shouldn't go wrong. So we kind of like we were like, okay, guys, it's time to refocus and you just win the game.
Well, that refocusing to win the game, how difficult is that to maintain that mentality? Because there is some teams that, you know, once you start to lose that mentality, you start to fall behind. It's really difficult to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's more like an stage match thing. Usually when you're playing scrims or something, you might tilt a little bit or something like that. But when you're on stage, you just know, like, you know, we have to win. It's the last term of the year, last term of the split. We must win. So you kind of like, we might be 5-0 or 6-0, like down the kills. They're like, okay, we have to dive mid. We have to do something. We have to get back in the game. So.
Yeah. That's fair for sure. But then this time for ProvingGrounds, all the way around, you've made it to the top before last year. What do you think it's going to take to win ProvingGrounds this time for you and the team?
I think our team has a lot of potential, honestly. Even though we ended the split 5th, I think we're definitely like a top 2, top 3 team when we kind of like perform. We don't do any weird throws. I think we usually come to most games with a pretty big early game lead. So as long as we're all playing on the same page and everyone's like really focused, I think the team has pretty good potential to get all the way to the top.
All right. And you're saying that you felt the team was better than it seems based off of the seeding. What do you think is it that makes you and the rest of the team stand out? What do you think makes you a top 2 team in this?
I think we have spent a lot of time on developing like rules and macro to how we like to play mid game. A lot of these top teams, they're top teams because they just win lane more often than not, I feel like. And I think with a lot of macro we do into mid game in unusual days, I think we'll show that we're better than the top teams when it comes to it.
Well, I'm excited to see you and everyone else keep moving on. Show us that you are, in fact, a top team. But before I let you go, any parting words, any shout outs that you might have? I'll give you the stage.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, shout out my friends, family, roommates. Shout out really deeply Ukraine. I have family in Ukraine and friends in Ukraine. So, you know, Ukraine, keep fighting. And thank you for watching us. And we're going to make sure to go really far in PG.
Well, I can't wait to see just how far you're going to be making through PG. We got to go catch up with the casters, though, talk about that game. So we're going to throw it to a short break, but don't go too far.
Goodbye.